First thing you want to do is cut the bands, slide the top of the box off, and then take all the parts out of the box, all the plastic and all the styrofoam, where you just have the machine sitting there. Step 1, we're going to be putting the rear stabilizer bar on. It's held on with 4 hex head bolts and 4 washers. You just want to be sure all of these are nice and tight. Next, we're going to put the seat back bracket onto the seat carriage. It's held in place with 3 hex head bolts on each side, and there is a washer that goes on those bolts as well. These do want to be extremely tight. You probably want to get all 6 of them in place before you tighten them down completely, just so that they'll all feed in there good. Now we're going to put the seat back cover in place. It's held in place with just 4 Phillips head screws. Step 2, we're going to be putting the handlebars in place. They are held in place with 4 hex head bolts and 4 lock nuts, nylock nuts. There's also a couple washers that go on those bolts. You just want to be sure these are tight. This is what you're going to be holding on to when you're using the machine, so you want to be sure that it's very tight. Next, we need to plug in the 2 hand pulse cables. They are labeled left and right, and they do need to be plugged into the correct ports. In step 3, we're going to be putting the console mast in place. First, you want to put the mast cover on the mast and then feed the wires up through that console mast. That piece of styrofoam is there to catch any bolts that you might drop, so leave that in place, and then put the 6 hex head bolts into place and snug those down. There is a washer that goes under each bolt. You want to get those good and tight. Once you're done tightening those up, you can then remove the styrofoam piece. Next, we're going to be putting the handlebars in place. They're held in place with 2 hex head bolts and 2 lock washers. You want to get these good and tight as well. Once we have those tight, there is a little plastic cover that just snaps over that spot. In step 4, first thing we're going to do is put the seat in place. It is held in place with 4 Phillips head screws. And next we're going to put on the front and the rear stabilizer covers. They're held on with 2 Phillips head screws apiece. Then we're going to be plugging the console in. There's just 2 connectors. Feed the extra wire into the end of the console mast, and the console is held in place with 4 Phillips head screws as well. Next we put on the right and the left beverage holders. They're held on with 2 Phillips head screws apiece. And then we're going to put the pedals on. You do want to be sure that you have the right side pedal on the right side and the left side pedal on the left side. The pedal on the left side is actually reverse threaded, so you might have a little trouble if you try to thread that the improper way.